Prime Video somehow renewed one of the most argued about romance shows, while half of the internet was begging them not to. Book Talk had quietly become one of the Hollywood's favorite place to find its next big hit. Just look at The Summer I Turned Pretty. One viral romance novel later, you got millions of viewers. So when Amazon announced every year after, expectations were ridiculously high. The original novel sold over millions of copies, its TikTok hashtag exploded, fans already loved the story. Everything looked like another easy win. Except this isn't what happened. Instead of becoming Prime Video's next romance sensation, Every Year After became one of the most divided streaming shows of this year. Some people absolutely loved it, others finished the season wondering what all the hype was about. And honestly, both sides have some points. At first, the story feels pretty familiar. A girl returns to a lake where she spent every summer growing up. She reconnects with the boy who was once her best friend and her first love. At first, it sounds like another slow romance you have probably seen before. But that's exactly not what the show is hiding. The real mystery isn't whether Prissy and Sam still love each other. It's what happened 10 years ago that made Prissy disappear from everyone's life. The series kept jumping between two timelines. One shows 6 beautiful summers filled with first love, friendship bracelet, awkward teenaging moments, and growing up together. And other shows on emotional funeral weekend where every old secret starts coming back. And when the truth finally arrives, it completely changes how you look at almost every scene you have already watched. What's interesting is that the book fans already knew the secret, or at least they thought they did. Because the TV version quietly changed one of the novel's biggest, instead of following the original story exactly, the writers added extra suspense to make the finale feel bigger. Well, some viewers thought it worked, others felt the book handled it much more mature way because the original story wasn't about discovering the truth. It was about whether two people could forgive each other after already knowing it. And honestly, that's a much more interesting question. But the bigger argument wasn't even about the twist. It was about the couple. Because every romance lives or dies based on one single thing. Do people actually believe these two belong together? And somehow, the internet couldn't agree less. On TikTok, people were making dreamy edits of Prissy and Sam, comments like they're perfect together. Then you open Reddit, and it felt like an entirely different show. Post after post complained that the chemistry just wasn't there. Some people even compared them to Off Campus. Another Prime Video romance saying Every Year After wasn't even close to that. And I think that's probably the biggest reason the series became so divisive. If you buy romance, the emotional scenes hit really hard. If you don't, almost the entire season falls apart. But here's where I think the critics actually got something right. Even the reviewers who didn't love the story kept praising the same two things. First, Sadie Sobral. She carries the show. Prissy spends most of the season dealing with guilt, grief, fear, and memories that refuses to stay buried. But somehow she makes almost every emotional breakdown feel real instead of melodramatic. Then there's Barry's Bay. Seriously. The town or the place has more personality than some of the characters. The golden sunset, the lakes, the cabins, the old tavern, everything feels like soaked into nostalgia. And it isn't just a pretty location. It became a reminder of people we lost and the version of yourself that can never really come back. Ironically, the settings sometimes tell a stronger emotional story than the script itself. Because the writing is where things start getting very, very messy. And almost every review says the same thing. 8 episodes was simply too much. Scenes linger longer than they need to, extra drama gets added, characters repeat emotional beats we have already understood. It's frustrating because the foundation is actually solid. The show isn't built on bad idea. It's built on a good idea that kept taking unnecessary routes. Then we finally reach the finale. And the final reveal changes how you are supposed to see the entire show. The problem is, instead of giving everyone a satisfying ending, it mostly gave everyone questions. One group of viewers finished thinking the romance had finally been repaired, and another finished wondering if the relationship was still broken. And honestly, the show seems perfectly happy with both of these interpretations exist. So, after all of that, mixed reviews, audience complaints, chemistry debates, confusing endings, you probably assume Amazon quietly moved it. Except, that's exactly what didn't happen. Amazon renewed it anyway. And honestly, that might be the most interesting plot twist of the entire story. Because streaming services don't make decisions based on Reddit comments. They care about watch time, completion rate, subscriber interest. So instead of giving up, they double down. Season 2 is already confirmed. And here's the really interesting part. It's shifting away from Prissy and Sam. Instead, Charlie becomes the new main character, adapting One Golden Summer, the sequel novel. Which honestly sounds like a good decision because Charlie was already one of the season's most interesting and complicated characters. Now he gets his own story. So, was Every Year After a bad show? Not really. Was it the next Summer I Turned Pretty like everyone expected? That's also definitely not. It's a series with beautiful setting, a fantastic lead performance, and a romance show that divided the entire fanbase. And finally, an ending that left almost everyone arguing. And maybe that's exactly why Amazon renewed it. Because love it or hate it, people couldn't stop talking about it.